Hey everyone, I'm Parker and this is Katie. We are currently exploring the beach next to our boat anchored in the Las Perlas archipelago after an amazing sail here last week from Panama City.
Goodbye, Panama City!
We recently bought our dream boat, a Passport 42, did a ton of projects, broke stuff on our shakedown cruise, fixed it, transited the Panama Canal, and sailed into the Pacific Ocean. Woo! Yeah, last year was a lot. If you're new here, I recommend backing up a bit first. I've created some new playlists of our Seawind and Boundless adventures so you can easily get up to speed. In this episode, you all are coming along with us for another first on our new boat. Actually 3. The first is discovering this beautiful beach. The black and gray sand is an indication that these islands were formed by volcanic activity, and this is the first time we've seen such a beach in our travels. Someone once told me that if you've seen one beach, you've seen them all, but I find that hard to be true as we continue sailing to new places. Another interesting find are parts of the beach or island that are revealed at low tide. Not very sandy, but very cool to explore. Tomorrow we will be taking you through figuring out how to set up and fly our asymmetrical spinnaker for the first time. It's a huge downwind sail made of lightweight nylon fabric and flown at the front of the boat. The third will be catching our first Pacific Ocean fish, but more on that later.
Woohoo! Oh yeah!
The weather looks promising, so let's see how it goes, and welcome to Sailing Seawind. Our first official beach landing on the Pacific Ocean. How does that make you feel?
Good.
Huh?
Good.
Our dinghy has high heels. That's what Katie just said. Check these puppies out. Sea Tug, designed and made in New Zealand. And they are pretty badass, huh? Oh man. Ah, I like a beach like this with some shade.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. That's the thing about the other beaches we've been to. We haven't been to too many with like actual foliage, like trees. Stuff. Oh my gosh, a Stella. Oh boy.
From the back.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Love you.
Love you.
I almost cheers your head. Cheers.
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 You have to do it at the same time.
Cheers. That's cool. Oh, it feels good. Huh. Oh, look at that. What is that?
These are like the beaches in Hawaii.
Yeah, huh? Yeah, look at these. I don't know if you can see this.
It's just little stone, black.
Little black stones. So this is all volcanic here. I think that is so cool. We're discovering different kinds of beaches in our travels. That's something that I never thought, you know, like I always thought, oh, once you see one beach, you've seen them all, right? But that was very small-minded thinking.
They might look a lot alike in the Caribbean.
Yeah. Yeah, Caribbean beaches look a lot alike, mostly.
Probably regionally.
We're happy to be here. Cheers. Alrighty, everybody. It was like a Jim Carrey thing. Huh? Well, first of all, we're going sailing. Very short distance, maybe 10 miles or so. And we're gonna try out the spinnaker for the first time. We've never seen it, never taken it out of the bag. Only photos from Julian and Colin. It's in an ATN sock, same as Seawind. So what we're gonna do is we're going to, while anchored, hoist it up and just leave it dangling in its sock. Get it all rigged, figure all that out, and then we're gonna go sailing that way. There's a nice little breeze and I think we'll have a good day. Yeah. I think I found the head earlier. Yep, right here. so we can connect this to the spinnaker halyard on the outside of everything. Great. Let's hoist this thing up.
Ready?
All right, ready. Alright, a couple more feet. Keep going. Keep going. Right there. I would say that's pretty good. So, where is the tack? This would be the clue, I would say. So I wonder if this goes like here to keep the sock in place or something? I don't know. That's kind of weird. Because this can't be the tack. Oh yeah, that is the tack. That's strange. That's like a high. Oh, interesting. Okay. So this is the tack here. All right. So that means that we have to lower the halyard a bit.
Okay.
Keep going. I would say right there. All right, we have figured it out. We have the tack line ready to go, and we have the sheet. Okay, so some of you might not know what a clue or a tack and other things that I'm talking about means. So we're going to very briefly go over what the parts of a sail are and how they interact with the boat. When we were in Bahia Honda, we met Edwin and Rosa. You'll probably remember them. Edwin and Rosa have a son named Edwin Jr. And before we left, he gifted us a model boat. It was so kind of him to do that. We absolutely love it, and now, after the fact, his attention to some details is pretty impressive, and it actually is going to allow me to use this boat as a model to show you all what I'm talking about. Okay, so this here is the jib of this boat, and all sails have 3 points of attachment. Most sails. Any sails on the style of boat that we sail on, Boundless, Seawind, all of these modern monohulls and catamarans, they all have 3 points of attachment. You have the head, which is where the halyard attaches to hoist the sail up the front. And then you have the tack, which is what tacks the sail down to the boat at the other end. So this line here, this one, that runs parallel with the forestay, this is called the luff. And it remains stationary because it is tacked down these two sides of this triangle by the tack and the head. The third point is the clue, which is this other piece of the triangle here, and it is where you attach the sheet. And the sheet is what you see as grinding on winches to pull the sails in or out, depending on our point of sail. The spinnaker is in a sock. I was digging around to find these. All I knew was that I needed to find the head, the clue, and the tack, because those are the 3 points that you have to set up on these sails. All right, we have figured it out. We have the tack line ready to go. And we have the sheet just led back through the spinnaker block into the winch. So let's hoist up anchor. So this is what it looks like. Just hanging up there waiting. Forward. This way. Okay, so we are up and we're just motoring out from the lee of these islands here, and then we're going to hoist the spinnaker for you all. And for us, mostly for us. But you guys are on the way, on the ride too. So we are gonna do something we've never filmed before. We've never filmed deploying a spinnaker. You got it?
Yeah.
Come on, baby. Here we go. Go, go, go. All right. Come back here and trim. Okay. Sorry. That's okay. All right. Okay, wait. Yeah. Woo. All right. Look at that. Beautiful. Nice job, Phoebe.
Yeah.
All right, you nailed it, Beebs. Good job. Well, other than the fact that it is ridiculously hot, this is amazing. Check it out. Woo! All right. First time flying Boundless's spinnaker. It's cut different than Seawind's. I'm actually surprised at how small it is, believe it or not, but we have 8 knots of breeze and we're doing like 4.5 knots, so can't really complain. And we're heading basically straight this way. This is incredible. Katie's just reading. We're drinking a hydration tablet. We have these Noon tablets that keep us hydrated during the day. They have electrolytes and stuff in them. And we are just sailing between the Pearl Islands. What a magical moment. All right, that is enough for me. I am getting out of the sun. Oop, shit, ouch. The deck is very hot. You have to dance across it. But okay, here she is. How is it?
What, the sailing or my boat?
Both.
Great.
Yeah? If the dinghy wasn't in the water, it'd be completely silent, huh?
Yeah.
How's your book?
Good. I said great. Both are great.
Oh, both are great. Nice. Look at that mud. We got a fishing line in the water, so hopefully we'll catch something. All right, we got what looks like what feels, okay. I'm excited. We have what feels like a very big fish. And I'm just slowly pulling it in. It just pulled the line. Wow, it's fighting.
Do you need help?
I can feel it start pulling a lot.
Right.
And then I relax because I don't want it to pull the hook free, you know?
Yeah.
I can see the leader end. Pull, I can see it. Pull. Pull. Pull.
Holy shit. What do you want me to do?
Here, take it.
Got
okay.
it.
Okay. Okay. Woohoo! Oh yeah! Oh my God! Look at this puppy.
Wow.
Woo! Oh my God! That is a yellowfin tuna, right?
I think we'll double check. Oh, we should kill it.
I think I got an artery, so that's good. Poor thing.
I don't want to film this. Nice.
This is the tuna dance.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, that's
Okay.
it. Wow.
This is crazy.
We're sailing right at him. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera to you to explain what we're seeing.
Birds. Look at all the boobies. There's boobies too.
Really?
Yeah, they're the ones that are all brown, like dark brown, and they have blue beaks.
And the pelicans.
Yeah, so many pelicans. They're just like going
Feasting.
right there. That's a booby. See, blue. One after the other.
Oh, cool. All right, we're just ghosting along here. We're coming up to the anchorage. The wind is really dying, so I think we're just gonna put the motor on and motor the last 1 mile, 2 miles. All right, ready when you are.
Watch the red line.
Yep.
All clear.
Cheers to you, love. You're an excellent partner.
Cheers.
Making sure we don't hit anything while I'm filleting a tuna, reeling it in with me and hauling it up on deck. All right, well, it's a late dinner. We are having the fish that we caught today, so that's nice. The fish was not a yellowfin tuna. We looked in our fish books and it is actually what's called a caravel jack. It is a red fish like tuna. You have to bleed them, which we did. They are pretty good eating if you prepare them correctly. I've never cooked one before, but I looked up a recipe. The recipe was that you cube up the meat and 1 tablespoon of garlic, 1 tablespoon of Cajun seasoning, and a couple of limes squeezed over top, and some salt, and you let that marinate for an hour or 2, which we have. Then you cook it over high heat with olive oil in a frying pan until they brown. And so we're going to have rice with sauteed onion and snapped peas. And we're going to put the vegetables and the fish over the rice. What do you think?
That's pretty good.
Pretty good?
Mm-hmm. Definitely better than the one that was caught in
the skipjack, yeah. Okay. Looks good. Up next, we continue exploring the Las Perlas Islands, soaking in all the wildlife and stumbling upon a beautiful eco-resort. We also sail to a few new places, reflecting on how far we've come since that first time leaving the dock with Boundless, as we gear up for our first overnight passage. We hope you enjoyed the episode, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and leave a comment. We love hearing what you have to say, and the interaction really helps our channel grow. If you've been watching for a while and are wondering how to show us love in a different way, head on over to patreon.com/sailingseawind to buy us a coffee or choose however you would like to support our channel.